For tutoring stats, my advice would be to be really welcoming to the students, especially if you're tutoring over interim, because this is probably the first and only math class they're taking, and they might be intimidated by the math majors and the tutors who they feel are really good at math, and they might feel like they're not. So just being really welcoming and positive to them and encouraging and letting them know that they can succeed in this.
In tutoring statistics, it seems that a lot of students think that they're worse at it than they actually are. Stats doesn't really involve a lot of high-level mathematics. It's just a little bit different than most other mathematics. And so in tutoring stats, it's especially important to let the student try the problem, because most of the time the student will be able to figure it out just by looking back at formulas and stuff. We'll be able to figure out the problem without needing help, and then that helps them learn it more than just you giving an answer.
Stats is a lot of just memorization of different equations and knowing when to use those equations. So really critically thinking through those word problems, looking for keywords to show this is the equation we're going to use, and correlating those keywords with a certain equation is really helpful.
One of the biggest things that helped me specifically with statistics is that I was able to collaborate with some of the teachers. And this kind of also had to do with, like, throughout the 7 semesters that I was a tutor, I took it from one professor, but then I tutored for like 4 or 5 other professors. And especially with stats, I can't speak to a lot of the other classes. Stats, it doesn't always follow the exact same pattern. Like, there are big key concepts that you'll always hit, but like one teacher will go further through the textbook, another teacher will stop earlier in the textbook, one teacher will teach this method of doing it, another won't have it quite as systematic. So I feel like collaboration with the teacher was really crucial. And like most of the professors, like, it seems daunting to reach out and be like, hey, what are you doing? But they were always super receptive. And if I was like, hey, do you have a key for this? Or hey, can I sit on a class? I did that once too. I sat in on one of the classes just to see how the professor taught that subject, so that I was able to then help the students, because they were struggling with it. So then, like, being able to alter what I learned to how another professor learns it, and that collaboration with the professor was really helpful.